Chapter 1, The Impossible Choice. The rain hasn't stopped for 3 days. I press my palm against the fogged window of my small cottage, watching droplets race each other down the glass. Outside, the forest of our packed territory stretches endlessly, dark pines, silver birches, mud-slicked paths, and the distant glow of the pack house where celebrations are likely still underway. I'm not there. I haven't been there in weeks. My reflection stares back at me, pale skin, tired eyes, and a stomach that has begun to swell despite everything. 4 months. I'm 4 months pregnant and I still can't believe it's real. Kael. I flinch at the voice even though I knew he was coming. I felt him 10 minutes ago, his presence like thunder gathering on the horizon. The front door of my cottage opens without a knock, because why would the alpha of the Nightfang pack bother knocking on an Omega's door? Darien Blackwood fills the doorway like he was carved from the storm itself. 6'5" of muscle, power, and barely contained violence. His black hair is slicked back from the rain, his silver eyes on me with an intensity that makes my wolf whimper. Not from fear. From recognition. Darien, I say, keeping my voice steady. I told you I needed time. You've had 3 weeks. He steps inside, shaking water from his leather jacket. The cottage suddenly feels impossibly small. Time is a luxury we don't have, Kael. The child is mine. I turn from the window, crossing my arms over my chest. It's a defensive gesture, but I don't care. And I'll make decisions about them when I'm ready. Darien's jaw tightens. He's handsome in the way mountains are handsome. Unyielding, ancient, dangerous. The kind of handsome that makes Omegas like me forget to breathe. Is it though? Is the child only yours? The question hangs between us like a blade. I don't answer. Because the truth is more complicated than either of us wants to admit. 3 months ago during the Blood Moon Festival something happened. Something that shouldn't have been possible. The Blood Moon is sacred. A night when the veil between worlds thins, when wolves lose their inhibitions, when packs from across the region gather to honor the old ways. I went as an observer, nothing more. An unbonded Omega attending the festivities with my sister's family. But the Blood Moon doesn't care about intentions. I remember fragments, the heat that rushed through me stronger than any heat I'd ever experienced. The way my scent must have flooded the clearing because suddenly every unmated alpha within miles could smell me. The chaos. The way 4 sets of hands touched me, for voices claimed me, for bodies moved with mine in a frenzy that felt less like pleasure and more like fate. When I woke the next morning, I was alone, covered in bite marks that had already begun to heal, and absolutely certain that something had changed inside me. 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. 6 weeks after that, the 4 alphas found out too. Darien was the first to arrive at my cottage, silver eyes blazing. The child is mine, he'd said. I felt it. The bond tried to form with me. Then came Marcus, the alpha of the Ironclaw pack. Golden-haired, golden-eyed, built like a warrior from an old legend. No, he'd said, pushing past Darien to kneel before me. The child reached for me. I sensed it. Then Silas, the alpha of the Shadow Moon pack. Quiet, calculating, with dark hair that fell across his face and eyes the color of winter frost. He didn't push. He didn't demand. He simply looked at me and said, "You know the truth. The child's instincts are divided." And finally Riker. Alpha of the Blood Moon pack. The largest of them all, covered in scars and carrying the weight of a pack that had nearly been destroyed by war. He grabbed my chin, tilted my face to the light and growled, "Mine." The child chose me first. I felt the tug before any of them. 4 alphas. 4 packs. One impossible situation. What do you want me to say, Darien? I finally asked, my voice tired. That I know which one of you fathered my child? I don't. No one does. The healers can't even tell because the child's energy signature keeps shifting. That's not what I'm asking. Darien moves closer and I have to fight the urge to step back. His scent wraps around me, forest and lightning and something darker. Something that makes my Omega instincts want to submit. I'm asking why you won't let me help you. Why you're hiding out here instead of in the pack house where you belong. I don't belong to any of you. Your body disagrees. His gaze drops to my stomach and something softens in his harsh features. The child reaches for me, Kael. Every time I'm near, I feel them. A little spark of recognition. A pull. I swallow hard. Because he's right. When Darien is close, I feel the baby shift inside me. Not kicking yet, but moving, turning toward him like a flower seeking sunlight. But the same thing happens when Marcus visits. And Silas. And Riker. The child's instincts shift depending on which alpha is near. If I choose wrong, If I bind myself and my child to one alpha while the others are rejected, the healers say the child could be born unstable. The bond that should form between father and offspring would be fractured, incomplete. The baby might not survive. Or worse, they might survive but be broken. Hollow. A wolf without a pack, without a connection to their own nature. I refuse to let that happen. I'm not choosing, I say, the words coming out stronger than I feel. I told all of you that. I'm not going to gamble with my child's life. Then what's your solution? Darien demands. You can't stay here forever. The packs are talking. My betas are asking questions. The other alphas are what? Plotting against you? Trying to take your territory? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. This isn't about packs, Darien. This is about me and my baby. It's about all of us. He closes the distance between us in 2 strides, his hands coming up to frame my face before I can retreat. His palms are warm against my cold cheeks, and despite everything, I lean into his touch. You carry a child that called to 4 alphas. Do you understand how unprecedented that is? How powerful that child will be? I understand that I'm terrified. My voice breaks on the last word, and I hate myself for the weakness. I understand that every night I lie awake wondering if they'll survive. If I'll survive. The healers say the pregnancy is stable, but they've never seen anything like this. No one has. Darien's thumbs trace my cheekbones, wiping away tears I didn't realize I'd shed. Then let me protect you. Let me? No. I push against his chest, and to my surprise he lets me step back. You don't get to claim me just because you showed up first. None of you do. I won't be passed around like a trophy. Is that what you think this is? His voice drops, rough and raw. Kael, I would tear down my own pack house if it meant keeping you safe. I would. The door opens again. Both of us turn to see Marcus standing in the doorway, rain dripping from his golden hair, his expression thunderous. Am I interrupting something? Always, Darien growls. Marcus ignores him, stepping inside and shaking out his jacket. He's wearing the formal colors of the Ironclaw pack, deep burgundy and gold, and he looks like a king surveying his domain. His gaze finds me immediately, softens, and then hardens again when it lands on Darien. I came to check on Kael, Marcus says. Not to find you breathing down his neck. I was talking to him. You were pressuring him. I can smell it from here. Marcus crosses to stand beside me, not touching, but close enough that his warmth seeps into my side. Kael, have you eaten today? You look pale. Trust Marcus to notice something practical. He's like that. The caretaker, the provider, the alpha who built his pack from nothing through sheer force of will and genuine compassion. It's what makes him dangerous in a different way than Darien. I had some broth this morning, I say. Broth. Marcus's jaw tightens. That's not enough. You're carrying? I know what I'm carrying. I press a hand to my stomach, feeling the faint flutter of movement that tells me the baby is awake. I'm not neglecting myself. I'm just not hungry. Your wolf is stressed, Darien says from behind me. That's affecting your appetite. If you'd let me. If you say, let me take you to the pack house, one more time, I'm going to shift and bite you. The thread is empty and we all know it. I'm an Omega. My wolf is built for softness, for nurturing, for submission. I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag, let alone challenge 2 alphas. But the sentiment makes them both pause. Marcus sighs, running a hand through his wet hair. We're not here to fight, Kael. We're here because we're worried. All of us. All of you. I raise an eyebrow. Did Silas and Riker send you as emissaries? Hardly. A new voice cuts through the tension, and Silas appears in the doorway like a ghost. He moves quietly for such a large man, all lean muscle and predatory grace. His dark hair is plastered to his forehead, and his frost-colored eyes sweep the room before landing on me. We came separately. Though it seems Darien and Marcus arrived first. Typical, Riker's voice booms from outside. He ducks through the doorway, literally ducks because even the frame isn't tall enough for him, and suddenly my cottage contains 4 alphas and I can barely breathe. Riker is the biggest of them. Scars crisscross his arms and disappear under his collar. His pack, the Blood Moon, is the smallest but the fiercest, survivors of a war that nearly wiped them out. He doesn't have the polish of Darien, the warmth of Marcus, or the mystery of Silas. He has brute force and unwavering loyalty, and when he looks at me I feel like prey. Cozy, Riker says, glancing around my tiny living room. You've been hiding from us. I've been resting. In a cottage without proper security? He snorts. Without pack healers on call? Without. I'm aware of what I don't have. My patience snaps. I'm also aware that I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask for the blood moon. I didn't ask for the four of you. And I certainly didn't ask to be pregnant with a child that might die if I make the wrong choice. The room goes silent. Then Silas moves. He's in front of me before I can blink, his cold fingers wrapping around my wrist. His touch sends a shiver through me, not unpleasant but startling. The child won't die, he says quietly. I won't allow it. None of us will, Marcus adds. We'll find a way, Darian says. Riker just nods, his dark eyes never leaving my face. I pull my hand free from Silas's grip and step back until I hit the wall. For alphas, for sets of eyes, for sense filling my small space until I can barely think straight. My wolf is frantic, not with fear but with confusion. She wants to submit to all of them. She wants to please them, to comfort them, to let them take control. But I can't. Because submitting to one would mean rejecting the others, and I can't risk my child's life on a feeling. What if I didn't have to choose? The words come out before I can stop them. All four alphas go still. What do you mean? Darian asks slowly. I take a breath, my heart pounding. The healers say the child needs a bond. A connection to their father. But they didn't say it had to be one father. What if all of you claimed the child? What if you all became their fathers? That's not how bonds work, Marcus says, but there's uncertainty in his voice. Isn't it? I push off from the wall, facing them. This child already has a connection to all of you. Their instincts shift depending on who's near. Maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe that's by design. Maybe they need four fathers, not one. The Pax would never accept it, Riker says. 4 alphas sharing one Omega and one child? It's unprecedented. So is everything else about this situation. I look at each of them in turn. I'm not asking for your Pax approval. I'm asking if you're willing to do whatever it takes to keep this child alive. Darian is the first to break. I am. Me too, Marcus says. Silas nods slowly. If it means protecting both of you, yes. Riker crosses his massive arms over his chest. The child is mine. I know it in my bones. But if sharing means keeping them alive. He exhales. Fine. I'll share. Relief floods through me so strong I almost collapse. Thank you. But, Darian interrupts, his silver eyes blazing, we have conditions. Conditions. If we're going to do this, if we're going to share a child, then we need to share you too. My blood turns to ice. What? You heard me. He steps closer and suddenly I'm surrounded on all sides. For alphas. For walls of muscle and intent. We won't just be co-parents, Kael. We'll be mates. All of us. You'll belong to the 4 of us and we'll belong to you. That's insane, I whisper. Is it? Silas tilts his head, studying me like I'm a puzzle he's desperate to solve. Your wolf already responds to all of us. You can't deny it. When I touch you, you lean in. When Darian speaks, your heart races. When Marcus brings you food, you eat it with more pleasure than you'd ever admit. And when Riker... He pauses, a rare smile curving his lips. When Riker growls, your knees go weak. I want to deny it. I want to tell him he's wrong. But I can't. Because he's not. There's another reason, Marcus says quietly. If we all claim you, the bonds between us will solidify. The child will have 4 parents connected by more than just blood, by mate bonds. That connection might be enough to stabilize them. You're making that up, I say. I'm not. He meets my eyes. I consulted with the oldest healer in my pack. She said it was theoretical but possible. If an Omega is mated to multiple alphas, and that Omega carries a child connected to all of them, the mate bonds could act as anchors. The child would draw strength from each bond, using all of them to support their development. And if I refuse? Darian's jaw tightens. Then we're back where we started. You choose one of us or the child risks being born unstable. I could raise them alone, I say, but even as the words leave my mouth, I know they're a lie. An Omega raising an alpha child alone? The child would be powerful, too powerful for one parent to handle. They'd need an alpha's guidance, an alpha's discipline, an alpha's strength. You could try, Riker says not unkindly, but you'd fail. Not because you're weak, Kael, but because the child would need more than you could give. They'd need a pack. A real pack. With 4 alphas at its head. I slide down the wall until I'm sitting on the floor, my back against the cold plaster. My hand rests on my stomach, feeling the tiny life inside me, the life that has thrown everything into chaos. You're asking me to bond with all 4 of you, I say slowly. To be mated to 4 alphas. To share my body, my home, my life with men I barely know. We're asking you to consider it, Silas says, and for once, his voice is gentle. We're not going to force you. None of us want that. Speak for yourself, Riker mutters, but Darien elbows him. The choice is yours, Kael, Darien says. But you need to make it soon. The child is growing. Every day that passes without bonds in place is another day they could be harmed. I look up at them, these four powerful men who should be enemies but have somehow become united in their desire for me and my child. It should terrify me. It should disgust me. Instead, something warm unfurls in my chest. Maybe it's desperation. Maybe it's instinct. Maybe it's the first stirrings of something I'm not ready to name. Give me until the next full moon, I say. That's 2 weeks. I'll give you my answer then. That's not enough time, Marcus protests. It's all I'm willing to give. I force myself to my feet, ignoring the way the room spins slightly. 2 weeks. During that time, none of you will pressure me. None of you will visit unless I invite you. And none of you will talk to anyone outside this room about what we've discussed. And if you say no? Darien asks. Then I'll choose one of you. Randomly. And we'll hope the child survives. I meet his eyes, letting him see the steel beneath my softness. But if you push me, if you try to force my hand, I'll run. I'll leave this territory, shift into my wolf, and disappear into the wilderness. And none of you will ever find me. The threat hangs in the air. They know I mean it. An Omega on the run is nearly impossible to track. Our wolves are built for stealth, for hiding, for survival. 2 weeks, Silas agrees. But Kael? He reaches out and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear, his fingers lingering on my skin. Don't make us wait longer than necessary. We've already been waiting for months. He leaves without waiting for a response. Marcus follows, pausing at the door to say, "Eat something. Please." Then he's gone too. Riker is the last to go. He stops in front of me so close I have to tilt my head back to see his face. His dark eyes search mine, and for a moment, I see something vulnerable beneath the scars and the roughness. "I don't share," he says quietly. "Never have. Never wanted to. But for you." He cups my face in his massive hands, and before I can react, he presses his lips to my forehead. The kiss is surprisingly gentle. "For you and the child I'll learn." Then he's gone, and I'm alone in my cottage with the rain and the silence and the impossible choice looming over me. I press my hand to my stomach and feel the baby move, a flutter, a shift, a tiny life reaching for something I can't yet give. 2 weeks, I whisper to them. 2 weeks to decide if I'm going to bond with 4 alphas or risk losing you forever. The baby doesn't answer. But somewhere in the distance, thunder rolls across the sky, and I swear I hear 4 wolves howling in response. Chapter 2: The First Taste. The days that follow are the longest of my life. I expected the alphas to break their promise within hours, to show up at my door with demands, with arguments, with bodies that make my Omega instincts sing. But they don't. The cottage remains quiet. The only visitors are my sister, Liana, who brings me food and asks too many questions, and the pack healer, an ancient woman named Marta who seems to know more about my condition than she's willing to share. The child is strong, Marta says on the 5th day, her gnarled hands hovering over my swollen belly. But the bonds are fragmented. They need something to anchor them. I know. I stare at the ceiling of my bedroom, trying not to flinch as her magic tingles through my skin. The alphas have made their proposal clear. Marta's eyebrows rise. And what do you want, Kael? Not the child. Not the alphas. You. What do I want? It's such a simple question, and I have no idea how to answer it. Before the blood moon, I wanted what most Omegas want. A quiet life, a kind mate, maybe a litter of pups to raise in peace. I wanted to garden and cook and tend to my packmates. I wanted to be useful, to be loved, to be enough. Now I want my child to survive. Beyond that, everything else is blurry. I don't know, I admit. Marta hums thoughtfully. Your wolf knows. Even if your human mind is confused, your wolf understands what she needs. Listen to her, Kael. She'll guide you. Easy for Marta to say. My wolf is a mess of contradictions. Drawn to all 4 alphas, terrified of all 4 alphas, desperate to submit and equally desperate to run. But on the 6th day something changes. I'm in the garden behind my cottage, pulling weeds and trying not to think about the alphas, when a scent drifts toward me on the wind. Pine and earth and something sharp like winter air before a storm. Silas. I straighten, my heart hammering. He's not supposed to be here. We agreed, 2 weeks without visits unless I invited them. But as I watch, he emerges from the tree lean, looking like a shadow given form. He's dressed in dark clothes that blend with the forest, and his frost-colored eyes lock onto me immediately. I know what I said, he calls out, stopping at the edge of my garden. But I couldn't stay away. Not when I can feel you struggling from across the territory. You can feel me? The baby. He touches his chest right over his heart. They've been restless all day, crying out for something. I thought maybe. He trails off, looking almost embarrassed. I thought maybe I could help. I should send him away. I should remind him of our agreement, demand that he leave, retreat into my cottage and lock the door. Instead, I find myself saying, how? Silas takes a cautious step forward, then another. The bond between us, the incomplete one, it's not just physical. It's emotional, magical. When you're distressed, I feel it. When the baby is distressed, I feel it too. He stops a few feet away, close enough that I can see the tension in his shoulders. I think I can help calm them. If you'll let me try. Let you try what, exactly? Touch you. The words hang in the air, charged with meaning. I should say no. I should protect myself, protect my child, protect whatever boundaries I have left. But the baby kicks, hard, insistent, demanding, and I feel a wave of anxiety wash through me that isn't entirely my own. Fine, I whisper. But if anything feels wrong, you stop immediately. Silas nods and closes the remaining distance between us. His hands hover over my shoulders, asking silent permission. When I don't pull away, he settles them there, his palms warm even through the fabric of my shirt. The effect is immediate. The baby's frantic movements slow. The anxiety in my chest eases. Something warm and golden spreads through my veins, soothing the raw edges of my nerves. Breathe, Silas murmurs, and I realize I've been holding my breath. I exhale shakily and he moves closer, pulling me against his chest. There. That's better, isn't it? I should push him away. I should maintain some semblance of propriety. Instead, I melt into him. His arms wrap around me, one hand splaying across my lower back, the other coming up to cradle the back of my head. He's warm and solid and safe, and for the first time in weeks I feel like I can breathe. The others don't know I'm here, he says against my hair. This is just for you and me. Why? The word comes out muffled against his chest. Because I wanted to show you that this, whatever is between us, isn't just about the child. He pulls back just enough to look at my face, and his frost-colored eyes are softer than I've ever seen them. I want you, Kael. Not because you're carrying my potential offspring, but because you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and my wolf has been screaming at me to claim you since the blood moon. You barely know me. Then let me get to know you. He tucks a strand of hair behind my ear, his fingers lingering on my cheek. Let me court you properly. Let me earn the right to stand by your side. The deal was that I would belong to all four of you. Not just one. The deal was that we would share you. But that doesn't mean we can't pursue you individually. A ghost of a smile crosses his lips. In fact, I think that's the point. We all want you, Kael. And we all want to prove that we're worthy of you. Before I can respond, he leans in. His lips brush mine, soft, questioning, giving me every chance to pull away. But I don't. I can't. Something in my wolf rises up, desperate for this connection, for the taste of him, for the promise of more. So I kiss him back. Silas makes a sound low in his throat, surprise, pleasure, hunger, and his hand slides into my hair, tilting my head for better access. The kiss deepens, his tongue tracing the seam of my lips, and I open for him because it feels like the most natural thing in the world. He tastes like winter and wild things, like frost on morning grass, like the first snow of the season. His beard scrapes pleasantly against my chin, and his body is hard and hot against mine, and no, I can't want this. Not yet. Not when I don't know what I'm choosing. I break the kiss, breathing hard. Silas's eyes are dark, his pupils blown wide, and there's a flush on his cheekbones that makes him look almost human. Too much? He asks, his voice rough. Too fast. I step back, putting distance between us. I need to think. I need to. Take your time. He holds up his hands, showing he won't pursue. But Kael? Whatever you decide, know that I'm not going anywhere. None of us are. He leaves the way he came, disappearing into the trees like a ghost. I stand in my garden, my lips tingling, my heart racing, my baby finally calm. And I realize with dawning horror that I'm already in over my head. The next day Marcus comes. He doesn't sneak through the forest like Silas. He arrives at my front door like a gentleman, carrying a basket of food and a bouquet of wildflowers. I brought lunch, he says, holding up the basket. And I come bearing gifts. Marcus, I know about the agreement. I know I'm not supposed to be here. He steps inside without waiting for an invitation because of course he does. But I also know that Silas was here yesterday, and I refuse to fall behind. You're jealous? I'm competitive. He sets the basket on my kitchen table and begins unpacking it. Fresh bread, cheese, fruit, a flask that I suspect contains something stronger than water. There's a difference. I watch him move around my kitchen, finding plates and cups without being told where they are. It's disconcerting how comfortable he seems in my space. Like he belongs here. Sit, he says, pulling out a chair for me. You've lost weight. I haven't. You have. I can see it in your face. He waits until I'm seated, then takes the chair across from me. The baby is taking more from you than you realize. You need to replenish. Are you always this bossy? Only when someone I care about is being stubborn. He pushes a plate toward me loaded with food. Eat, Kael. Please. I pick up a piece of bread and take a bite, mostly to make him stop looking at me with those worried golden eyes. The bread is still warm, fresh from some oven, and it's the best thing I've tasted in days. Good? Marcus asks. Don't let it go to your head. He grins and the expression transforms his face. Marcus is handsome in a classical way, strong jaw, perfect bone structure, hair that catches the light like spun gold. But when he smiles, he becomes beautiful. Tell me about yourself, he says, leaning back in his chair. Not the pregnancy, not the alphas, not the bonds. Just you. What do you love? What do you hate? What keeps you up at night? The questions are so unexpected that I almost choke on my bread. You want to know about me? Is that so strange? Yes. Everyone wants to know about the baby. About the blood moon. About which one of you is the father. I set down my bread, suddenly not hungry. No one asks about me. Marcus's expression softens. Then I'm asking. Tell me, Kael. What makes you happy? I think about it. Really think about it for the first time in months. I love the rain, I say slowly. The way it smells, the way it sounds on the roof, the way it makes everything clean and new. I love gardening, watching things grow, coaxing life from the soil. I love my sister's children even when they're annoying. And I hesitate, then plunge forward. I love the idea of being wanted. Not needed, not useful, not necessary. Just wanted. For who I am, not what I can provide. Marcus is quiet for a long moment. Then he reaches across the table and takes my hand. I want you, he says simply. Not because you're carrying a powerful child. Not because my wolf demands it. Because you're kind and strong and you light up when you talk about the things you love. Because you're brave enough to face 4 alphas alone and demand fairness. Because you're you, Kael, and I've never met anyone like you. My throat tightens. Marcus, I'm not asking for anything. He squeezes my hand. I just wanted you to know. When you're making your decision, when you're weighing your options, know that I see you. Not the Omega, not the vessel, not the prize. You. I don't know what to say. The words feel too big for my small kitchen, too heavy for the fragile peace I've been trying to maintain. So I do the only thing that makes sense. I lean across the table and kiss him. Marcus makes a startled sound against my lips, then his free hand comes up to cup the back of my neck, holding me in place. He tastes like honey and sunlight, like summer afternoons and warmth and home. His kiss is different from Silas's, gentler, more careful, like he's afraid of breaking me. When we finally pull apart, his golden eyes are bright with emotion. That was... He trails off, shaking his head. I don't have words. Then don't use them. I stand up, pulling my hand from his. Thank you for lunch, Marcus. And for everything else. But I need you to go now. Before I do something we'll both regret. He stands too, towering over me even though I'm not short. Is that what you want? For me to go? It's what I need. I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly cold despite the warmth in the room. I can't think clearly when you're all around me. I can't make the right decision if I'm drowning in whatever this is. Marcus studies me for a long moment. Then he nods, gathers his basket and walks to the door. 2 more days, he says, pausing on the threshold. Then we get our answer. I know. I hope you choose us, Kael. All of us. He looks back at me and there's something raw in his expression. Not because I want to share you. I don't. But because I think we could make you happy. All 4 of us in our own ways. He leaves before I can respond and I sink back into my chair, my lips still tingling from his kiss. 2 more days. 2 more days to decide if I'm going to bond with 4 alphas or risk everything on a single choice. My baby kicks and I press my hand to my stomach, feeling the flutter of life beneath my palm. What do? I whisper to them. What do I want? The baby doesn't answer. But somewhere outside, I hear the distant sound of howling, not one wolf but four, their voices rising together in a harmony that makes my heart ache. Chapter 3, The Fourth Arrives. On the 8th day, Riker shows up at dawn. I know it's him before I open the door. His scent fills my cottage, smoke and leather and something wild, like the forest after a fire. My wolf perks up, tail wagging despite my best efforts to stay neutral. When I open the door, he's standing on my porch with his arms crossed over his massive chest, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "You're early," I say. "You're awake." I couldn't sleep. I step back, letting him inside. The baby was restless again. Riker's dark eyes drop to my stomach, and something flickers across his scarred face. Something soft. Something vulnerable. They know I'm here. Do they? He nods, stepping past me into the cottage. He has to duck to clear the doorway, and even then, his head nearly brushes the frame. I felt them reaching for me. All night. Like they were calling me home. He looks around my small living room, taking in the worn furniture, the stack of books on the coffee table, the half-finished blanket I've been knitting for the baby. "You've been busy." "Trying to be." Riker turns to face me, and without the others around, I can see him more clearly. The scars on his arms tell stories of battles I can only imagine. The dark circles under his eyes suggest he hasn't slept either. And the way he's looking at me, like I'm something precious and terrifying all at once, makes my breath catch. "The others have visited," he says. It's not a question. "Yes." "Did they kiss you?" I hesitate. "That's not really any of your business." "It's absolutely my business." He steps closer, and I have to fight the urge to retreat. "We're supposed to be sharing you, Kael. That means I need to know what I'm walking into." Silas kissed me. Marcus kissed me. I lift my chin, refusing to be intimidated. Darian hasn't visited yet. I don't know if he will. Riker's jaw tightens. "And did you enjoy it? Their kisses?" "That's." Answer the question. I should lie. I should tell him no, that it meant nothing, that I'm still undecided. But something about Riker's intensity demands honesty. "Yes, I admit. I enjoyed them. They were different but good. Silas is intense. Marcus is gentle. And I don't know what Darian is like because he hasn't." Riker kisses me. There's no warning, no gentle asking for permission. One moment he's standing a foot away, and the next his hands are on my waist, hauling me against his chest, and his mouth is on mine. It's nothing like Silas's careful passion or Marcus's tender affection. Riker kisses like he's claiming territory, all heat and demand and barely restrained power. His tongue sweeps into my mouth, and I taste copper and smoke and something darker, something that makes my wolf whimper with need. I should push him away. I should maintain some semblance of control. Instead, I fist my hands in his shirt and kiss him back. Riker growls against my lips, a low, satisfied sound that vibrates through my entire body. His hands slide down to my hips, pulling me closer until there's no space between us. I can feel every line of his hard body, every scar, every ridge of muscle. When he finally pulls back, we're both breathing hard. "That's what I taste like," he says, his voice rough. "Remember it. Because if you choose us, you'll be tasting it every day for the rest of your life." "You're arrogant." "I'm confident." He releases me, but only to cup my face in his massive hands. "I've survived things that should have killed me, Kael. I've rebuilt a pack from nothing. I've fought alphas twice my size and walked away. But none of that compares to how I feel when I look at you. Riker. I'm not good with words. I'm not gentle like Marcus or mysterious like Silas or commanding like Darian. I'm rough and I'm broken, and I have more scars than smooth skin." He presses his forehead to mine. "But I would burn the world down to keep you and that child safe. Do you understand? I would burn everything." My heart is pounding so hard I can barely breathe. "What? Why do you care so much? You barely know me." "Because my wolf knew you the moment the blood moon rose." His thumbs trace my cheekbones, wiping away tears I didn't realize I'd shed. "Because I've been alone for so long, and when I'm near you, I don't feel alone anymore. Because you're carrying a piece of me, of all of us, and that means something. It means everything." I don't know what to say. I don't know how to process the intensity of his words, the weight of his gaze, the way his hands are shaking slightly against my skin. So I do the only thing I can. I kiss him again. This time it's slower, less desperate. I trace the seam of his lips with my tongue, and he opens for me with a sound that's almost a whimper. I taste him, really taste him, and commit every note to memory. When we finally separate, Riker's eyes are bright with emotion. 2 days, he says. Then you give us your answer. I know. Don't break my heart, Kael. He steps back, putting distance between us. I don't think I could survive it. He leaves before I can respond, and I sink onto my couch, my whole body trembling. 3 alphas. 3 kisses. 3 very different men who want me for very different reasons. And one more who hasn't shown his face. Darien comes on the 9th day. I should have expected him to wait until the last possible moment. He's the alpha of the largest pack in the region. A man who built an empire through patience and strategy. Of course he wouldn't rush. He arrives at sunset, when the sky is bleeding orange and red and the world feels suspended between day and night. May I come in? He asks, standing on my porch like a supplicant rather than a king. Since when do you ask permission? Since I realized that pushing you only makes you retreat. His silver eyes meet mine, and there's something different about him today. Something softer. I've been watching you, Kael. Learning you. And I've come to understand that you're not someone who can be commanded. You have to be chosen. I step back, letting him inside. He's dressed more casually than usual. Dark jeans, a gray sweater, his black hair loose around his shoulders. He looks almost approachable like this. Almost human. The others visited, he says, glancing around my cottage. I know about the kisses. Are you angry? I'm envious. He turns to face me, and his expression is complicated. I wanted to be first. I wanted to be the one who showed you what this could be. But I also knew that if I came too soon, I'd ruin it. I'd demand too much, expect too much, and you'd pull away. So you waited. I waited. He moves closer, and I notice that he's being careful, leaving space between us, not touching, not pushing. And now I'm here, and I need you to know something. What? Darien reaches out, slowly, giving me time to retreat. When I don't, he takes my hand in both of his. His palms are warm, calloused, surprisingly gentle. I've never wanted anyone the way I want you, he says. Not just your body, though I want that desperately. Not just the child, though I want them too. I want your laugh. I want your stubbornness. I want the way you bite your lip when you're thinking, and the way you hum when you're cooking, and the way you talk to your plants like they can hear you. My breath catches. You've been watching me? I told you. I've been learning you. He lifts my hand to his lips and presses a kiss to my knuckles. I know that you wake up at least twice every night to check on the baby. I know that you talk to your sister on the phone every evening, even when you have nothing to say. I know that you're terrified and brave and so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. Darien? I'm not asking you to choose me over the others. He pulls me closer, and this time I don't resist. I'm asking you to choose all of us. To give this, whatever this is, a chance. What if it doesn't work? What if the bonds fail, or the packs rebel, or we can't stand each other after a month? Then we figure it out. He cups my face in his hands, and his silver eyes burn with intensity. Together. All 5 of us. 5. You, me, Marcus, Silas, Riker. And the child. He strokes his thumb across my cheekbone. That's 5. That's a pack. That's a family if we want it to be. I want it. God help me, I want it so badly I can barely breathe. But wanting and doing are 2 different things. Kiss me, I whisper. Show me what I'm saying yes to. Darien doesn't hesitate. His mouth crashes against mine, and it's like being struck by lightning. Everything else falls away, the cottage, the forest, the impossible choice. There's only him, only his hands in my hair, only his tongue sliding against mine, only the desperate, hungry sounds we both make. He kisses like he's been starving for me. Like every day he waited was a kind of torture. Like he's trying to pour every unspoken word into the press of his lips. When we finally break apart, we're both shaking. I want this, I say, the words tumbling out before I can stop them. I want you. All of you. I'm terrified, and I don't know if it will work, but I want to try. Darien's eyes widen. You mean? I'm saying yes. I press my hand to my stomach, feeling the baby kick in response. I'll bond with all 4 of you. I'll be yours and you'll be mine, and we'll figure out the rest together. For a moment, Darien just stares at me. Then a grin spreads across his face, not the controlled expression he usually wears, but something real and raw and beautiful. You're sure? I'm sure. He pulls me into his arms, crushing me against his chest, and I feel his heart pounding beneath my cheek. Thank you, he murmurs into my hair. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wrap my arms around him and hold on tight. Tomorrow I'll tell the others. Tomorrow we'll start figuring out what this means, how 4 alphas and 1 omega can build a life together. But tonight I let myself have this moment. Tonight I let myself hope. The next morning I call all 4 alphas to my cottage. They arrive within the hour, Darien first, then Marcus, then Silas, then Riker. They fill my small living room, their scents mingling until I can barely tell where one ends and another begins. I've made my decision, I say, standing in front of the fireplace so I can see all of them. I'll bond with all of you. I'll be your mate and you'll be mine and we'll raise this child together. The room erupts. Marcus whoops, grabbing Silas in a hug that the darker alpha endures with a long-suffering expression. Riker punches the air, a rare smile cracking his scarred face. And Darien just watches me with those silver eyes, his expression soft with something that looks like love. But, I say, and the room goes quiet, there are conditions. Name them, Silas says. First, the bonds have to be equal. No alpha has more claim on me than another. No alpha makes decisions without consulting the rest of us. Agreed, Darien says, and the others nod. Second, we need to tell the packs. Together. No secrets, no hidden agendas. We present a united front, or we don't present at all. Fair? Riker says. Third. I hesitate, then plunge forward. Third, I want to court you. All of you. Properly. I want to get to know you before we complete the bonds. I want to fall in love with you, or at least give myself the chance to. The alphas exchange glances. Then Marcus steps forward, his golden eyes warm. We can do that, he says. Slow. Careful. The way it should have been from the beginning. And the baby? Silas asks. The bonds need to be in place before they're born. The healers were clear about that. We have 5 months, I say. That's plenty of time to court 4 alpha wolves. I smile and it feels strange on my face, like I'm relearning an old skill. Unless you're afraid I'll change my mind. Darien laughs, a real laugh full and warm. Kael, I'm terrified you'll change your mind. But I'm also determined to give you every reason not to. He crosses the room in 3 strides, cups my face in his hands and kisses me in front of the others. It's not possessive or demanding, it's promising. A taste of what's to come. When he pulls back, Marcus is there waiting. He kisses me too, slower, sweeter. Then Silas, who deepens the kiss just enough to make me gasp. Then Riker, who wraps his arms around me and lifts me off my feet, kissing me until I'm dizzy. 4 alphas. 4 kisses. 1 Omega who somehow caught the attention of them all. What have I gotten myself into? I murmur, leaning against Riker's chest. Everything, Darien says, and his voice is full of wonder. You've gotten yourself into everything. The baby kicks and I laugh, actually laugh, for the first time in months. Maybe this will work. Maybe it will all fall apart. But right now, surrounded by 4 powerful men who look at me like I'm the center of their universe, I'm willing to take that chance. Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm. The announcement to the packs doesn't go well. We wait a week. 7 days of stolen kisses and awkward meals and learning to share space with 4 very different alphas. Then we gather in the neutral territory between our territories, a wide meadow that has hosted pack negotiations for centuries. Word spreads quickly. By the time we arrive, hundreds of wolves have gathered, warriors and elders, omegas and pups, all of them curious about the unprecedented union. Darien stands at the front of the gathering, flanked by Marcus, Silas, and Riker. I stand behind them, my hand on my swollen belly, trying not to shake. We've called you here to announce a historic alliance, Darien says, his voice carrying across the meadow. The Night Fang, Ironclaw, Shadow Moon, and Blood Moon packs will be united. Not as enemies but as one pack. A coalition bound by something stronger than territory or politics. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. We will be bound by blood, Marcus continues, stepping forward. By the child that Kael carries. And by the bonds we are about to form. An Omega bonded to 4 alphas? Someone shouts from the crowd. It's unnatural. The child has 4 potential fathers, another voice calls out. This is just an attempt to claim power. Riker growls, low and dangerous. This isn't about power. It's about survival. The child? The child is a pawn. An elder wolf steps forward, her gray hair wild around her face. You're using an unborn pup to justify your perversion of pack law. Silence falls. I step out from behind the alphas, my heart pounding. The child is not a pawn. The elder's eyes narrow. Omega, you should be silent. This doesn't concern you. It concerns me more than anyone. I walk to stand beside Darien, facing the crowd. I'm the one carrying this child. I'm the one who will bond with 4 alphas. And I'm the one who will raise this pup, whether you approve or not. You're just an Omega. I'm the Omega who holds the future of your packs in my womb. My voice rings out, stronger than I feel. The child I carry is connected to all 4 of your alphas. If the bonds are not formed, the child will die. And if the child dies, so does any chance of peace between your packs. The crowd goes quiet. The blood moon created this child, I continue. Not me, not the alphas. The moon itself. And the moon doesn't make mistakes. I press my hand to my stomach, feeling the baby move. This child will be powerful. Maybe more powerful than any of you can imagine. And they will need 4 parents to guide them. 4 alphas to teach them. 4 packs to support them. You're asking us to accept the impossible, the elder says, but her voice has lost some of its venom. I'm asking you to trust your alphas. I look at Darien, at Marcus, at Silas, at Riker. I'm asking you to trust me. For a long moment, no one speaks. Then a young wolf steps forward, a beta from the Ironclaw pack, barely out of his teens. I don't understand it, he says. But I trust Alpha Marcus. If he says this is right, I'll follow. Another wolf speaks up. Alpha Darien has never led us wrong. Alpha Silas saved my family during the war. Alpha Riker gave us a home when we had nothing. One by one, wolves voice their support. Not all of them. I can see the doubt in many eyes, the suspicion, the fear. But enough. It's a start. The weeks that follow are chaos. We decide that I'll split my time between the 4 pack territories, 1 week with each alpha. The arrangement is awkward at first, but gradually we find a rhythm. With Darien, I learn what it means to be the mate of a powerful alpha. His pack house is enormous, filled with wolves who look at me with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. Darien himself is different in his own territory, more relaxed, more playful. He takes me on runs through the forest, shows me his favorite hunting grounds, introduces me to the wolves who have been his family for decades. You're good at this, he says one night, after I've spent hours helping his Omegas prepare a feast. Leading. Connecting with people. I'm an Omega. It's what I do. It's not just that. He pulls me into his lap, his arms wrapping around my waist. You have a gift, Kael. You make people feel seen. I lean into him, resting my head on his shoulder. Is that why you want me? I want you for 1,000 reasons. He presses a kiss to my temple. But that's one of them. With Marcus, I learn about gentleness. His pack is smaller than Darien's but tighter knit. Marcus knows every wolf by name, every child's birthday, every elder's ailment. He's the heart of his pack, and being around him makes me want to be better. I used to be different, he admits one afternoon as we worked together in his garden. Angry. Ambitious. I wanted power more than anything. What changed? You. He looks at me, his golden eyes soft. Well, not you specifically. But the idea of you. The hope that somewhere, there was someone who would love me for who I am, not what I could give them. Marcus. I know it's early. He sets down his trowel and takes my hands. But I'm falling in love with you, Kael. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't know what to say. So I kiss him instead. With Silas, I learn about patience. He's the quietest of the 4, the most guarded. His pack is mysterious even to the other alphas. Wolves who keep to themselves, who practice old magic, who speak in riddles and half-truths. You're afraid of me, Silas says one night as we sit by the fire in his private quarters. I'm not afraid. You should be. He stares into the flames, his frost-colored eyes reflecting the light. I've done terrible things, Kael. Things that would make Darien's blood run cold. I've killed without mercy, manipulated without conscience, destroyed without hesitation. Why? To protect my pack. He turns to look at me, and there's something raw in his expression. I would do it again. I would do worse if it meant keeping my wolves safe. I reach out and take his hand. Then we're alike. How? I would do anything to protect my child. I squeeze his fingers. Anything. Even bond with 4 alphas I barely know. Silas is quiet for a long moment. Then he lifts my hand to his lips and kisses my palm. You're stronger than you know, he murmurs against my skin. Stronger than any of us. With Riker, I learn about survival. His pack is the smallest, the poorest, the most battered. The Blood Moon wolves bear the scars of a war that nearly destroyed them. Physical scars, emotional scars, scars that may never fully heal. We're broken, Riker says, watching his wolves train in the muddy yard. All of us. Even me. You're not broken. You're surviving. Same thing, isn't it? No. I turn to face him, my hand on my growing belly. Surviving means you're still here. Still fighting. Still hoping. Broken means you've given up. I meet his dark eyes. You haven't given up, Riker? Neither have I. He pulls me into his arms, burying his face in my hair. What if I fail you? What if I can't protect you and the child? Then we fail together. I hold him tight, feeling the tension in his massive body. That's what a pack does. We don't give up on each other. Riker's arms tighten around me and I feel something shift between us. Something deeper than attraction. Something like trust. 4 weeks into our courtship, the first threat appears. It comes in the form of a letter, delivered to Darian's pack house by a wolf none of us recognize. The child is an abomination. The Omega is a whore. The alphas are fools. The old ways will prevail. We gather in Darian's study, all 5 of us plus our most trusted betas. Who sent this? Marcus asks, his golden eyes hard. We don't know. Darian paces the room, the letter crumpled in his fist. The messenger was a rogue. No pack scent, no identifying marks. He died before we could question him. Died how? Silas asks. His heart stopped. Magically, if the healer is to be believed. Darian stops pacing and faces us. Someone wants to stop this union. Someone with power. The old packs, Riker says quietly. The ones who refuse to join the coalition. They've been quiet for weeks. Too quiet. You think they're behind this? I think we need to be careful. Riker looks at me, his dark eyes worried. All of us. But especially Kael. If someone wants to stop the child, he's the target. I press my hand to my stomach, feeling the baby kick. I won't hide. You might not have a choice, Darian says. I always have a choice. I stand up, facing all 4 of them. I've spent my whole life being told what to do, where to go, who to be. I'm done with that. I'm carrying the future of your packs in my womb, and I refuse to cower because someone sent a nasty letter. The alphas exchange glances. She's right, Silas says finally. Kael is the strongest among us. If we try to lock him away, we'll only weaken him. Then what do you suggest? Marcus asks. We protect him without smothering him. Silas's frost-colored eyes meet mine. We give him the tools to protect himself. And we find out who's behind this threat before they can act. It's not a perfect solution. But it's a start. That night, I lie awake in Darian's bed, staring at the ceiling. The baby is restless, kicking and turning, and I can't sleep. You're thinking too loud, Darian murmurs from beside me. Sorry. Don't apologize. He rolls over, pulling me against his chest. Talk to me. What's wrong? Everything. I close my eyes, letting his warmth seep into me. Someone wants to hurt my child. Someone powerful enough to kill a messenger with magic. And I don't even know who they are. We'll find them. And if you don't? I will. He kisses the top of my head. I swear it, Kael. I will burn the world to keep you and that child safe. I want to believe him. I need to believe him. But as I drift off to sleep, I can't shake the feeling that something terrible is coming. Something none of us are ready for. Chapter 5. The First Blood. The attack comes on a moonless night. I'm at Riker's territory, sleeping in his bed, when the first scream echoes through the pack house. I'm awake instantly, my wolf on high alert. Beside me, Riker is already moving, pulling on clothes, reaching for weapons, his dark eyes wild. Stay here, he commands. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. Riker. Promise me. I nod and he's gone, his massive form disappearing into the chaos. I lock the door behind him, then press my back against it, my heart pounding. The baby is frantic inside me, kicking and turning, sensing my fear. More screams. The clash of bodies. The smell of blood. I should stay put. I should obey Riker's command. But I'm not the kind of Omega who hides while others fight. I shift. It's painful now with my swollen belly, but my wolf knows what to do. Fur ripples across my skin, bones crack and reform, and suddenly I'm on 4 legs, smaller than the alphas but faster, quieter. I slip out the window and into the night. The backyard is chaos. Wolves fight wolves, blood moon warriors against attackers I don't recognize. The scents are wrong. Strangers, rogues, wolves from packs that refuse to join the coalition. And in the center of it all, Riker fights 4 wolves at once, his massive wolf tearing through them like they're made of paper. But there are too many. For every attacker that falls, 2 more appear. I should run. I should find somewhere safe to hide. Instead, I charge into the fray. I'm not a fighter. I'm an Omega, built for healing and nurturing, not violence. But my wolf is fierce and my child is in danger, and I'll be damned if I let these strangers hurt my family. I sink my teeth into the leg of a wolf who's about to attack Riker from behind. He yelps, spinning to face me, and I see recognition in his eyes. The Omega, he shouts, shifting back to human form. He's here. Get the Omega. Suddenly all eyes are on me. I shift back to human, knowing I can't fight in this form, knowing I've made a terrible mistake. Kael, run. Riker roars. But it's too late. Hands grab me from behind. Rough hands, magic hands. Pain explodes through my skull and then everything goes dark. I wake in darkness. Not the darkness of night, but the darkness of a room with no windows. Stone floor beneath me, chains around my wrists, the taste of blood in my mouth. My baby. Is my baby okay? I press my free hand to my stomach and feel movement. Thank the moon. They're still alive. You're awake. The voice comes from the shadows. Old, female, familiar. The elder from the gathering. The one who called my child a pawn. You, I snarl. What do you want? I want to save our kind. She steps into the dim light and I see her clearly for the first time. She's older than I realized, ancient really, with eyes that have seen centuries. That child you're carrying, Kael? It's not a blessing. It's a curse. You're wrong. I'm a seer. I've seen what's coming. She kneels in front of me, her wrinkled face inches from mine. That child will tear the packs apart. War, death, destruction. All of it because of one pup with too much power. Then why not just kill me? Why kidnap me? Because death would be too easy. Too quick. She smiles and there's nothing kind in it. No, Kael. I'm going to take that child from you. And then I'm going to raise them. Shape them. Make them into something that serves my vision. You're insane. Maybe. She stands, brushing off her robes. But I'm also powerful. And you, Omega, are going to help me. She gestures and shadows rise from the floor, dark shapes that wrap around my arms, my legs, my throat. Magic, old and cold and hungry. The child will be born tonight, the elder says. One way or another. No. I struggle against the shadows, but they hold me fast. The baby isn't due for months. They're not ready. The magic will force them. Will be painful. For you and the child. She tilts her head, watching me with cold interest. But pain is instructive, don't you think? The shadows tighten and I scream. I don't know how long I'm there. Minutes. Hours. Days. The elder works her magic, trying to force my body into labor. The pain is unimaginable, worse than anything I've ever experienced. I scream until my throat is raw, until I have no voice left, until I'm begging for death. But the baby holds on. They're strong, this child of mine. Stronger than the elder's magic. Stronger than the pain. They cling to life with a ferocity that makes me proud, even as I'm dying. Stubborn, the elder mutters, wiping sweat from her brow. Just like their father. Which one? I gasp. All of them. She smiles, and there's something almost admiring in her expression. For alphas, one child. It shouldn't be possible. And yet. She pauses, cocking her head like she's listening to something. What is it? I ask. The alphas. Her smile fades. They're here. The door explodes inward. Darien is first, his silver wolf crashing through the stone like it's paper. Marcus follows, then Silas, then Riker. Behind them, a small army of wolves from all four packs. The elder snarls, raising her hands to summon shadows. But she's weak. The magic she used on me has drained her. Darien shifts back to human, his silver eyes blazing. Let him go. The child is mine now. The child is ours. Marcus steps forward, golden fur rippling along his arms. And you will not touch them again. The elder laughs, a brittle, broken sound. You think you've won? This is just the beginning. The child will still be born. The packs will still tear each other apart. And you, she points at me, her ancient eyes burning, you will watch it all burn. Shadows rise around her, consuming her. When they fade, she's gone. Silas curses, shifting back to human. She escaped. For now. Riker crosses to me, his massive hands gentle as he examines my chains. Kael, are you okay? The baby. We're alive. I wince as the chains fall away, my wrists raw and bleeding. She tried to force the birth, but the baby fought back. The baby protected you, Darien says, kneeling beside me. His voice is full of wonder. I felt it. All of us did. The child reached through the bonds and pushed. Is that possible? I don't know. He pulls me into his arms, holding me tight. But nothing about this situation is normal. Why should the child be any different? I cling to him, shaking with relief and exhaustion. The others gather around us. Marcus pressing a kiss to my forehead, Silas checking my pulse, Riker wrapping his arms around all of us. We need to get you home, Marcus says. To a healer. The bonds, I whisper. They need to be completed. Before she tries again. The alphas exchange glances. Are you sure? Silas asks. We can wait. We can. I'm sure. I pull back from Darien, looking at each of them in turn. I don't want to wait anymore. I want to be yours. All of yours. Tonight. Darien's silver eyes darken. Kael? Don't argue with me. I manage a weak smile. I've had a really long day. Riker laughs, a surprised, genuine sound. She's got a point. I correct. I'm a he. And I'm also very tired, so if we could do this bonding thing sometime before I pass out, that would be great. The alphas exchange glances again. Then Darien nods. Back to the pack house, he says. All of us. Tonight we complete the bonds. The bonding ritual is ancient, older than the packs, older than the moon itself. We gather in the sacred circle on Darien's territory, the place where alphas have bonded for centuries. Torches light the perimeter, casting flickering shadows across the grass. I stand in the center, wearing nothing but a white shift. The 4 alphas surround me, each of them dressed in their pack colors. The bonds we form tonight cannot be broken, Darien says, his voice carrying through the night. Once given, they are forever. Do you understand what you're agreeing to, Kael? I understand. Once bonded, you will feel our emotions as your own. Our pain, our joy, our fears. You will be connected to us in ways that go beyond words. I understand. Once bonded, there is no going back. No divorce, no separation, no escape. Death is the only thing that can sever these bonds. I meet his silver eyes. I understand. Darien nods and the ritual begins. Marcus steps forward first, drawing a small blade across his palm. Blood wells up and he offers his hand to me. With my blood I claim you, he says. With my heart I cherish you. With my soul I bind myself to you. I take his hand, letting his blood mingle with mine. Heat floods through me, not painful but overwhelming. I feel Marcus's presence in my mind, his emotions brushing against mine like gentle waves. Silas steps forward next, repeating the ritual. His blood is cold against my skin, but the bond that forms is warm, protective, watchful, fierce. Riker follows, his scarred hand trembling slightly as he offers it. His bond is like fire, passionate, consuming, all-encompassing. Finally, Darien steps forward. His silver eyes never leave mine as he draws the blade across his palm. With my blood I claim you, he says, his voice rough. With my heart I cherish you. With my soul I bind myself to you. I take his hand. And the world explodes. 4 bonds. 4 alphas. 4 distinct presences in my mind, each of them unique, each of them mine. I feel Darien's strength, his determination, his fierce protectiveness. I feel Marcus's warmth, his gentleness, his unwavering devotion. I feel Silas's patience, his cunning, his willingness to do whatever it takes. I feel Riker's passion, his loyalty, his desperate need to be loved. And they feel me. My fear, my hope, my love for the child I carry. My stubbornness, my courage, my refusal to give up even when everything seems hopeless. Is this real? I whisper, tears streaming down my face. Are you really in my head? We're really here, Marcus says, and I feel his awe echoing through the bond. We're not going anywhere, Silas adds. Ever? Riker finishes. Darien pulls me into his arms, and the others gather around us, forming a protective circle. I'm surrounded by warmth, by love, by 4 hearts beating in rhythm with my own. The child, I say, pressing my hand to my stomach. I can feel them. They're reaching for all of you. The bonds are stabilizing them, Darien says. The healers were right. 4 anchors are stronger than 1. The baby kicks, happy, insistent, alive. For the first time in months, I believe they're going to be okay. We spend the night in the sacred circle, wrapped in each other's arms. The bonds hum between us, still new, still settling, already stronger than anything I've ever felt. What happens now? I ask, my head resting on Darien's chest. Now we build a life together, he says. All 5 of us. And the packs. We'll adjust. Marcus strokes my hair. Or they won't. Either way, we face it together. The elder is still out there, Silas reminds us. She won't give up. Then we find her. Riker's voice is hard. And we make sure she never threatens our family again. Our family. The words settle over me like a warm blanket. I've spent so long alone, not physically but emotionally. Always on the outside, always watching others find their mates, build their packs, create their families. Now I have 4 mates. 4 alphas who would die for me. A child who's already fighting to survive. Now I have everything I never knew I wanted. I love you, I whisper, and I'm not sure which one I'm talking to. All of them, I realize. I love all of them. The bonds pulse with warmth, and I know they can feel it. My love, my hope, my fear, my joy. We love you too, Darien says, speaking for all of them. And for the first time in my life, I believe it. Chapter 6. Adjustments. The first month after the bonding is chaos. 4 alphas, 1 omega, and a pregnancy that seems to accelerate with every passing day. The healers say the child is growing faster than normal, a side effect of the 4 bonds, perhaps, or the elders' failed magic. I wake each morning in a different bed, in a different territory, with different arms wrapped around me. The alphas have agreed to rotate. Each of them gets 2 nights a week, and the 5th night we spend together in the neutral house we're building at the center of our combined territories. We need a schedule, Marcus says one morning, watching me struggle to tie my shoes. My belly is too big now for me to reach my feet comfortably. You need to stop staring and help me. He grins and kneels in front of me, tying my laces with gentle fingers. Better? Much. I run my hands through his golden hair, and he leans into the touch like a cat. Thank you. Always. The bond pulses with his affection, and I feel a warmth spread through my chest. This is still new, feeling their emotions, sharing their thoughts, but I'm starting to understand the rhythm of it. Darien is intense, his emotions big and bold and impossible to ignore. When he's happy, I feel like I'm floating. When he's angry, I feel like I'm on fire. Marcus is gentle, his feelings soft waves that wash over me without overwhelming. He worries constantly, about me, about the baby, about the packs, but he tries to hide it, not wanting to burden me. Silas is controlled, his emotions locked down tight. But occasionally something slips through, a flash of fear, a burst of love, a wave of protective fury so strong it takes my breath away. And Riker. Riker feels everything at full volume. Joy, sorrow, rage, love, there's no moderation with him. It's exhausting and exhilarating in equal measure. I don't know how you handle all of us, Darien admits one night as we lie together in his bed. I can barely handle myself. You're not that hard to handle. He laughs, pulling me closer. Liar. Maybe. I press a kiss to his chest. But I wouldn't trade any of you. Even when you're being difficult. Especially when we're being difficult, Silas says from the doorway. He's leaning against the frame, his frost-colored eyes watching us with something like fondness. Kael has a thing for broken things. I do not. You mated with 4 alphas who can't stop fighting long enough to plan a meal. That's a thing for broken things. Darien growls, but there's no heat in it. We can plan meals. When was the last time you cooked anything that wasn't hunted and eaten raw? That's different. I'm an alpha. I don't. You don't what? Know how to use a stove. Silas raises an eyebrow. Marcus taught me last week. It's not complicated. I stifle a laugh. Silas, are you offering to cook for us? I'm offering to teach all of you to cook for yourselves. He crosses to the bed, sitting on the edge. The baby will be here soon. We need to be able to feed them without relying on pack omegas for every meal. The baby won't be eating solid food for months. The principal stands. Darien sighs, running a hand through his hair. Fine. We'll learn to cook. But I'm not wearing an apron. You're definitely wearing an apron, I say. I'll make it myself. With flowers on it. Kael? Pink flowers. He groans, but I feel his amusement through the bond. He's not nearly as annoyed as he's pretending to be. The cooking lessons become a weekly tradition. Every Sunday we gather at the neutral house, all 5 of us, and Silas teaches us to prepare a meal. He's surprisingly patient, walking us through each step, correcting our mistakes without judgment. Marcus takes to cooking like he was born for it, his gentle hands perfect for kneading dough and chopping vegetables. Darien struggles with anything that requires precision, but he's determined to improve. Riker treats cooking like a battle, aggressive, intense, occasionally explosive. You're supposed to stir the sauce, not attack it, Silas says, watching Riker whisk with unnecessary force. Sauce should submit. Sauce doesn't have a will of its own, Riker. It does if you make it correctly. I laugh, leaning against the counter. My belly is huge now, 8 months pregnant, though the healers say I'm measuring closer to full term. The baby will arrive soon. I can feel them getting ready, shifting into position, preparing to enter the world. Kael? Marcus appears at my side, his golden eyes worried. You're crying. I'm happy, I say, wiping my eyes. I didn't know it could be like this. Laughter and cooking and family. Marcus pulls me into his arms, holding me tight. This is just the beginning, he murmurs against my hair. We have a lifetime of Sundays ahead of us. The bond pulses with love, from Marcus, from the others, from the baby growing inside me. I've never been happier. 3 weeks later, the elder returns. We're at the neutral house, sleeping tangled together in the massive bed we had built for nights like this. The alphas insisted on a bed big enough for all 5 of us. For bonding purposes, Darien had said, though I suspected he just liked being surrounded by his pack. I wake to the sound of breaking glass. I'm on my feet before I'm fully awake, the bonds screaming with alarm. The alphas are awake too, shifting to their wolves in seconds, surrounding me in a protective circle. Stay back, Darien growls, his silver wolf positioning himself in front of me. The window shatters inward and shadows pour through the opening, dark shapes with red eyes and snapping jaws. Shadow wolves? The Elder's creations. They attack without hesitation, and the room erupts into chaos. The alphas fight back, teeth and claws tearing through shadow flesh. But the creatures don't bleed, don't tire, don't stop. We need to find the Elder. Silas shouts, shifting back to human. Kill her and the shadows die. Where is she? Marcus demands, fending off 2 shadows at once. I stop, pressing my hand to my stomach. The baby is moving frantically, reaching through the bonds, pointing. Outside, I gasp. The baby can feel her. She's in the garden. Darien doesn't hesitate. He shifts back to human, grabs me and runs. The garden is dark, the moon hidden behind clouds. But I can see her, the Elder, standing in the center of my herb patch, her ancient hands raised to the sky. You've ruined everything, she snarls, seeing us. Those bonds should have weakened the child. Instead, they made them stronger. The child was never yours to control, Darien says, positioning himself between us. The child is an abomination. A threat to everything we hold sacred. Shadows gather around her, darker and more solid than before. I won't let it be born. She raises her hands and the shadows surge toward us. I just act. I step around Darien, placing myself between him and the Elder. My hands go to my belly and I push, not physically but through the bonds. I channel the love of my 4 alphas, the hope of our combined packs, the fierce determination of my unborn child. And I send it all at the Elder. She screams as the light hits her, pure, blinding, righteous. The shadows dissolve. Her ancient skin cracks and peels. And then she's gone, crumbling to ash that scatters on the wind. I collapse. Darien catches me before I hit the ground, cradling me against his chest. Kael, can you hear me? I'm okay, I whisper. The baby helped me. The baby? They channeled the bonds. Gave me the strength. I press my hand to my stomach, feeling the flutter of life within. Our child is extraordinary, Darien. He kisses my forehead, his hands shaking. You're both extraordinary. The others join us. Marcus, Silas, Riker, all of them bloodied and exhausted but alive. Is it over? Marcus asks. I close my eyes, reaching through the bonds. The Elder's presence is gone, not hiding, not escaped, but truly gone. It's over, I say. The alphas gather around me, forming a protective circle. The baby kicks, happy and alive, and I feel the bonds pulse with love and relief. We're safe. For now. Chapter 7. The Birth. The labor begins on a stormy night. I'm at the neutral house, alone for once. The alphas are at a pack meeting, discussing the rebuilding efforts after the Elder's attack. I'd insisted they go, despite their protests. I'll be fine, I'd said. The baby isn't due for 2 more weeks. The baby, it seems, had other plans. The first contraction hits me like a wave, painful, overwhelming, impossible to ignore. I double over, gripping the kitchen counter, and feel something warm trickle down my legs. My water has broken. Okay, I say to myself, trying to stay calm. Okay, this is happening. This is. Another contraction, stronger this time. I cry out, reaching for the bonds. Darien, Marcus, Silas, Riker. The baby is coming. The response is immediate. 4 surges of alarm, of love, of desperate determination. We're on our way. Hold on, Kael. Don't you dare give birth without us. We're coming. I laugh through the pain, staggering toward the bedroom. The alphas had prepared for this. A birthing room, equipped with everything the healers recommended. Fresh linens, warm water, supplies for the baby. I make it to the bed before the next contraction hits. And then I'm lost in the pain, the pressure, the overwhelming sensation of my body preparing to bring new life into the world. The alphas arrive together, bursting through the door like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Darien is first, his silver eyes wild with fear. Marcus is right behind him, already rolling up his sleeves. Silas carries a bag of medical supplies. Overkill probably, but I appreciate the thought. And Riker. Riker takes one look at me, sweaty and screaming, and turns pale. I can't do this, he says. I can't watch him in pain. Then wait outside, Darien snaps. But I'm not leaving. None of us are leaving, Marcus says, kneeling beside the bed. Kael, look at me. Breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. I try to follow his instructions, but the pain is too much. I can't. You can. Silas takes my hand, his frost-colored eyes steady. You're the strongest person I know. You bonded 4 alphas. You defeated an ancient seer. You can do this. Another contraction hits and I scream. The hours that follow are a blur of pain and pressure and overwhelming love. The alphas take turns supporting me, Darien holding my hand, Marcus wiping my forehead, Silas timing the contractions, Riker pacing in the corner and trying not to panic. You're doing amazing, Darien says, his voice rough with emotion. Just a little longer. I can't. You can. He kisses my sweaty forehead. You're so strong, Kael. So beautiful. So. Don't, I gasp. Don't make me laugh. It hurts. Sorry. The healer arrives. Marta, the ancient woman who's been monitoring my pregnancy. She takes one look at the situation and nods approvingly. 4 alphas all present, she says. Good. The child will need their bonds when they're born. The child will need me to not die, I point out. You're not dying. You're giving birth. Marta sets down her bag and rolls up her sleeves. Now push. The baby is born at dawn. They come into the world screaming, not with fear but with fury. A healthy alpha pup, lungs full of air, fists clenched, already demanding attention. A boy, Marta says, wrapping him in a soft blanket. A beautiful, healthy boy. Let me see him. I reach out and she places him in my arms. He's perfect. Dark hair like Darien's. Golden eyes like Marcus's. A serious expression like Silas. And a strength in his tiny body that reminds me of Riker. Hello, little one, I whisper. I'm your papa. The baby, my son, blinks up at me and I feel something shift through the bonds. He's connected to all of us. To me, to Darien, to Marcus, to Silas, to Riker. 5 bonds intertwined and unbreakable. He's beautiful, Darien says, his voice breaking. He looks like you, Marcus adds, touching the baby's dark hair. He has your eyes, Silas says. He's perfect, Riker finishes, his scarred face soft with wonder. The baby yawns, snuggling against my chest, and I feel tears streaming down my face. We did it. We survived the impossible. And now we have a son to raise together. The days after the birth are a blur of sleepless nights and endless feedings and the overwhelming love of 4 alphas who are utterly devoted to our son. We name him Asher, blessed in the old tongue. Because despite everything we feel blessed. Blessed to have him, blessed to have each other, blessed to have survived. Asher grows quickly as the healers predicted. He's strong for his age, already trying to lift his head, already reaching for the alphas whenever they enter the room. He's going to be trouble, Darien says, watching Asher grab Marcus's finger and refuse to let go. Good trouble, Marcus corrects. All trouble is good trouble when it comes to family, Silas says. Speaking of trouble, Riker adds, looking at me with dark eyes, how are you feeling? The healer said you needed rest. I'm fine. I yawn, proving his point. Tired but fine. You should sleep. Riker lifts Asher from my arms, cradling him against his massive chest. The baby looks impossibly small in his scarred hands. I'll watch him. You don't know how to change a diaper. I'll learn. You'll set the house on fire. I'll be careful. I laugh, exhaustion making me giddy. Fine. But if he cries, wake me. I will. He doesn't. I wake hours later to find Asher sleeping peacefully in his bassinet, Riker's massive form curled protectively around him, both of them snoring softly. I take a picture with my phone, knowing I'll treasure it forever. Chapter 8, Growing Pains. 3 months after Asher's birth, we hold a ceremony to officially unite our packs. Hundreds of wolves gather in the meadow where we first announced our bonding. This time there are no protests, no angry elders, no threats of violence. The packs have had time to adjust, to see that our union is working, to witness the strength of our bonds. Asher is the center of attention, of course. He's already showing signs of extraordinary power. His howl can be heard across 3 territories, his eyes glow when he's angry, and he's somehow figured out how to shift part of his body without fully transforming. He's going to be a handful, Marcus says, watching Asher try to climb Silas like a tree. He's going to be an alpha, Darian corrects. A powerful one. The most powerful, Riker adds. Maybe we should worry about that later, I suggest, scooping Asher off Silas's leg. Right now he needs to eat and nap. But Papa. No buts. Food, then sleep, then you can terrorize your fathers again. Asher pouts, but he lets me carry him to the tent where I've been nursing him. The alphas follow. They never let me out of their sight for long, not since the elders' attack. We should talk about the future, Darian says as Asher nurses contentedly. About what happens when he's older. When he starts school. When he shifts for the first time. We have time, I say. Do we? He's growing faster than any pup I've ever seen. The healers say he'll be walking within a month. Talking within 2. Shifting before his first birthday. He's extraordinary, Silas says. We knew that from the beginning. Extraordinary comes with extraordinary challenges. Darian runs a hand through his hair, frustrated. Other packs will want him. Other alphas will try to claim him or kill him, or use him for their own purposes. Then we protect him. Marcus's voice is firm. Together. The way we've protected each other. And the way we'll protect Kael, Riker adds. The Omega who bonded 4 alphas and gave birth to a miracle. I blush looking down at Asher. I'm not a miracle. I'm just me. You're everything, Silas says softly. The bonds pulse with love and I feel tears prick my eyes. This is my family. These 4 alphas, this extraordinary child. We're broken and weird and completely unprecedented. But we're ours. And nothing will ever tear us apart. Asher's first word is, duh. We don't know which father he's referring to. All 4 of them answer when he says it, rushing to his side with hopeful expressions. I think he meant me, Darian says. He definitely meant me, Marcus counters. You're both wrong. He was looking at me. Silas crosses his arms. He was reaching for me, Riker growls. Asher giggles, clearly enjoying the chaos he's created. Then he points at me and says, Papa. I scoop him up, kissing his chubby cheeks. That's right, little one. I'm Papa. And those 4 idiots are your dads. We're not idiots, Darian protests. You're fighting over who taught him to talk. He's 3 months old. He doesn't even have teeth yet. He has 1 tooth, Marcus corrects. Which he got from chewing on my finger, Silas adds. Because you let him, Riker says. I would never. You let him chew on your ear last week. That's different. I laugh, holding Asher close. You're all ridiculous. And I love you. The bonds pulse with warmth, surprise, joy, overwhelming affection. We love you too, Darian says, speaking for all of them. Asher babbles something that sounds suspiciously like, love, and we all freeze. Did he just? He said love. Say it again, Asher. Love, the baby shouts, waving his fists. Love, love, love. I burst into tears, and the alphas gather around us, forming a protective circle of warmth and devotion. This is our family. Flawed and fierce and full of love. And nothing will ever change that. Chapter 9, The Rising Threat. Asher's first birthday arrives with celebration, and with danger. We've spent the year building our coalition, strengthening our bonds, raising our extraordinary son. The packs have mostly accepted our union, though there are still whispers of discontent from the old guard. But the threat that emerges on Asher's birthday is unlike anything we've faced before. It begins with a message delivered by a wolf none of us recognize. The Council of Elders has convened. The child is deemed a threat to pack law. Surrender him within 1 moon cycle or face annihilation. The Council of Elders. I thought they were a myth, a group of ancient wolves who only intervene in matters of existential crisis. But apparently they're real. And they want my son. We're not surrendering him, Darian says, his silver eyes blazing. Obviously, Marcus agrees. Never, Silas adds. Over my dead body, Riker finishes. I hold Asher close, watching the 4 alphas I love prepare for war. What do we know about the council? Not enough, Silas admits. They're ancient, older than any of our packs. They claim to speak for the moon itself. Do they have that authority? Does it matter? Darian paces the room, his wolf close to the surface. They're threatening our son. That's all I need to know. We need more information. I set Asher down, letting him toddle toward his toy box. We need to find out who they are, what they want, and how to stop them. I agree, Marcus says. But we also need to prepare for the worst. If they're willing to threaten annihilation, they're willing to attack. The packs will stand with us, Riker says. The Blood Moon Wolves have fought impossible battles before. We'll do it again. The Night Fang too. And the Iron Claw. The Shadow Moon as well. I look at my 4 alphas, my mates, my partners, my family, and feel a surge of love so strong it nearly knocks me over. We'll face them together, I say. All of us. As one pack. Asher babbles something and the bonds pulse with agreement. One pack. One family. One future. Nothing will take that from us. The next moon cycle is a blur of preparation. We gather intelligence on the council, their history, their members, their weaknesses. We fortify our territories, train our warriors, stockpile supplies. We reach out to neutral packs, building alliances, gathering support. And we spend every possible moment with Asher, knowing that the coming battle might take us away from him. He's so small, I say one night watching Asher sleep in his crib. Too small for this. For any of this. He's not too small, Darian says, wrapping his arms around me from behind. He's the strongest person I know. He's a baby. He's a baby who defeated an ancient seer before he was even born. Darian presses a kiss to my hair. He has 4 alphas for fathers and an Omega who would burn the world for him. He's going to be fine. You don't know that. No, he admits. But I believe it. And right now belief is all we have. I lean into him, drawing strength from his warmth. The other alphas are scattered across the territories, preparing their packs for the coming conflict. But Darian stayed with me tonight, sensing my fear through the bonds. I love you, I whisper. All of you. Even when I'm terrified. Fear doesn't cancel love. He turns me to face him, cupping my face in his hands. If anything, it makes it stronger. Because when you're afraid of losing something, you know how much it means to you. I kiss him, soft, slow, grateful. When did you get so wise? When I bonded with an Omega who refuses to let me be an idiot. I laugh, leaning into him. Fair enough. The council arrives on the night of the blood moon, the same moon that brought us together, that created our sun, that changed our lives forever. They come with an army. Hundreds of wolves, all of them ancient, all of them powerful, all of them radiating an authority that makes my wolf want to submit. But I don't submit. I stand beside my alphas, Asher in my arms, and face the council. You were warned, the lead elder says, a woman with white hair and eyes like liquid silver. Surrender the child. No. My voice rings out across the meadow. He's not yours to take. The child is an abomination. A threat to pack law. A perversion of the natural order. He's my son. I hold Asher tighter. And I will die before I let you touch him. The elder's eyes narrow. That can be arranged. The army surges forward. And the battle begins. Chapter 10 United we stand. The fighting is brutal. I've never seen anything like it. Wolves tearing into wolves, blood soaking the earth, the sky lit with magic and fire. The alphas fight at the front, their wolves massive and terrifying, tearing through the council's forces like they're made of paper. But there are too many. For every enemy that falls, 2 more take their place. I stay at the edge of the battle, Asher clutched to my chest, protected by a circle of our most trusted warriors. My Omega instincts scream at me to run, to hide, to protect my child at any cost. But I can't run. Because my alphas are in the middle of that chaos, and if they fall, I fall with them. Papa, Asher whimpers, sensing my fear. Papa scared. It's okay, little one. I kiss his forehead, trying to calm my racing heart. Papa's here. Papa's not going to let anything happen to you. The bonds pulse with pain. Darian is hurt. Marcus is surrounded. Silas is bleeding. Riker is fighting 3 wolves at once. I can't just stand here. I shift, placing Asher in the arms of a nearby warrior. Protect him, I command. Don't let anyone touch him. Kael, what are you? But I'm already running. My wolf is small compared to the alphas, but I'm fast. I weave through the battle, dodging teeth and claws, heading toward the place where the bonds are screaming. Darian is pinned beneath 2 wolves, his silver fur dark with blood. I just attack, sinking my teeth into the throat of the nearest enemy. He falls, and I move to the next and the next, fighting with a ferocity I didn't know I possessed. Kael? Darian shifts back to human, grabbing my wolf and pulling me close. What are you doing here? You need to. I need to help you. I shift back, cupping his bloody face in my hands. We're in this together. All of us. The bonds pulse with agreement, and I feel the others converging on our location. Marcus arrives first, his golden fur matted with blood. Then Silas, moving like a shadow. Then Riker, massive and terrifying, his dark eyes blazing. Together, Riker says, and it's not a question. Together, we agree. Asher's cry echoes across the battlefield, not a baby's cry but something more. Something powerful. The bonds surge and I feel our sun drawing on our strength. Drawing on the love that connects us, the devotion that binds us, the family we've built against all odds. And he pushes. Light explodes from the center of the battlefield, pure, blinding, unstoppable. The Council's army screams as the light hits them, their ancient bodies crumbling to ash. When the light fades, only our pack remains. The Council is gone. The battle is over. We find Asher in the arms of the warrior I left him with, giggling and clapping his tiny hands like he just performed the best trick in the world. Did you do that, little one? I ask, taking him from the stunned warrior. Papa. He points at the battlefield. Boom. Yes, baby. Boom. I laugh, tears streaming down my face. You saved us. Boom, he agrees solemnly. The alphas gather around us, bloody, exhausted but alive. He's going to be trouble, Darian says, touching Asher's cheek. The best kind of trouble, Marcus agrees. He gets it from all of us, Silas adds. We're doomed, Riker says, but he's smiling. I look at my family, four alphas who love me, one extraordinary son who saved us all, and feel a peace I've never known. The battle is over. The Council is defeated. The threats that seemed insurmountable are gone. What's left is us, flawed and fierce and full of love. What happens now? I ask, echoing the words from our bonding night. Now we live, Darian says. Together, Marcus adds. Forever, Silas finishes. And ever, Riker concludes. Asher babbles something that sounds like, love, and I hold him close, surrounded by my alphas, surrounded by my pack, surrounded by everything I ever wanted and never knew I needed. The moon rises over the battlefield, silver and full and beautiful. And for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of what tomorrow might bring. Because whatever comes, we'll face it together. All five of us. One pack. One family. One love. Epilogue. 5 years later, Asher shifts for the first time. His wolf is magnificent, larger than any pup his age, with fur the color of moonlight and eyes that shift between silver, gold, frost, and darkness depending on his mood. Papa, look, he shouts, bounding through the forest on 4 legs. I'm a wolf. I see that, little one. I laugh, watching him chase his tail in circles. You're a very handsome wolf. The handsomest, Darian agrees, appearing from the trees. Obviously, Marcus adds. Undeniably, Silas says. Naturally, Riker finishes. Asher preens, his tail wagging so hard his whole body wiggles. I'm going to be the best alpha ever. You're going to be an alpha, I correct? 1 of 5. Remember what we talked about. Asher shifts back to human, a process that's getting smoother with practice, and scrambles into my lap. I know, Papa. I have to share. Like you share with my dads. Exactly. I ruffle his dark hair. Being a leader isn't about having all the power. It's about using your power to help others. And having fun, he adds. And having fun, I agree. The alphas gather around us, forming their familiar protective circle. The forest is quiet, peaceful, ours. Do you ever regret it? I ask, looking at Darian. The choice we made? Never, he says without hesitation. Not for a second, Marcus adds. Every day I'm grateful, Silas says. It was the best decision of my life, Riker finishes. I look down at Asher, at the son who saved us, at the future we're building together. No regrets, I agree. The moon rises, silver and full, and we watch it together. One pack. One family. One love. And a lifetime of moments still to come. The end.